Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper right corner, we have FlashFTW playing as the stylish pink Terran, going up against Artosis in the bottom right as the yellow Terran. This is going to be on Polestar. This is best of one, which is really scary for Artosis in particular, because while he's definitely a better player than FlashFTW, Flash could win. Flash would have won, something along those lines, the meme. Flash is one of those guys that could definitely sneak a game off Artosis, especially if he does something really off the wall and creative. I don't think an 8 racks would be the play, but floating a factory into Artosis's main, doing something insane like that, Artosis is really going to have to play on his guard. And honestly, even in heads up play, Artosis is going to have to be really careful, because Flash is one of those guys that he's not up in the AS rank range, but he's a very good player and he's very intelligent, and so can every once in a while show flashes of brilliance, pun intended, and as a result might surprise Artosis, knocking him out early. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I in particular want to keep an eye on factory timings. This is something I've been wanting to do better at in commentary generally, is seeing how close to the 225 mark they are. I feel like 224, 225, and then the seconds leading after are pretty good indicators. Barracks drops both directions. A little bit of a interior drop for Artosis, a little bit more towards the edge just because of map structure right this second. One, I want to actually highlight from ASL a game that honestly I felt like an SCV walking into a base and getting a little bit of damage decided the match, and that was Barracks versus Rush. Highly recommend that. It was an absolutely fantastic match, and it just kind of rolled off, and it just shows you kind of the state of TVD, particularly at the highest level these days. It rolled effectively from, okay, initial Marine got damaged, all the way to now there's superior amounts of vultures in the base. And I felt like just every little bit led to the next little bit. All right, let's see Artosis's. He's got the 100 gas. Unfortunately, it's going to be closer to 230, so we're 228 factory. And I did not catch the timing of Flash's factory, but I believe it was somewhat later. Single Marine blockading. Second Marine is queued up. So it looks like it is going to be the traditional 2 Marines. I think in the game I was speaking of, the game of which I was referring, by the way, the SCV's going counterclockwise and clockwise, and therefore both players are going to end up boxed out of scouting information. Bit of a delay from Flash lofting that barracks out, and he's also placed it more towards his ramp end. So it's going to have a slower movement as far as an initial start to be able to scout. It's actually staying interior to the base. This could be information that Flash is missing out on, that I'm not going to say that will cost him the game, but every once in a while it puts you at such a disadvantage just because you don't have information of what's going on. The factory also pinned to the north to try to deny that information as much as possible. Not that it's going to matter, because Artosis is able to slide in with that SCV, 6 health left on it, but able to see the factory and get a good look of the layout of the base otherwise. He's gone ahead. Did the SCV, the same thing opposite side. Wow, actually both these guys flubbing the defense a bit. Even got some minerals there. That was a really fast mining pattern. Vulture scooting its way back. Artosis has his command center a smidge faster than Flash. Flash immediately dropping the second factory along that northern corridor. Artosis going for another Vulture on top of... So sorry, he's going for a second factory, but I think he queued up that Vulture a little bit more rapidly, and we do have a machine shop also from Flash. And Flash actually marching out right this second. So he's got equalized attack forces, but wants to take position at this low ramp just in case Artosis decided, and he's doing that underneath the vision of the barracks, hoping that Artosis will be a little bit more aggressive. I think Flash now realizing, oh shoot, that barracks, and is now starting to loft it out. This might, unfortunately for him, this might be too little too late sort of situation. By the time this barracks makes its way towards Artosis' side of the map, it's not going to have the scouting information. It's looking for Artosis dropping a third factory, his machine shop coming out later, speed upgrading. And Artosis did in fact, oh man, taking all sorts of damage with this. So Artosis with 4 vultures making its way up, Flash getting caught by surprise, and I think he was on the move command as he was exiting and just ended up losing a lot of troops. Now you got 4 vultures just heads up, group prepare on that vulture on the ramp to try to save the situation, but still a lot of SCVs are going to get wiped out. Artosis also macroing well behind this, so he's now up 5 SCVs. Is he going to continue? He could probably just rally vultures at the stage and finish it if he wanted to. Barracks is just going to land in front of this base. We do have a siege tank out for Flash, so that was a wise drawback here by Artosis. And the barracks landing is underneath the command center, and so Flash cannot re-land the command center until this barracks has been pushed off, giving Artosis even more time to get upgrades, etc. Looks like he's going to go into mines. He's still running off the 3 factory play, hasn't tacked on a second gas, and he's adding some cruft out on the front, holding the vultures along that median line. Once again, the barracks finally lifting off before it's hitting the halfway point of health. This barracks still has not gotten, it's finally going to wander up to at least see some vultures here at the 9 o'clock, but right now Flash is playing effectively entirely in the dark. He doesn't know what tech. He doesn't even know if Artosis had that machine shop spinning right this second. Flash sitting on 3 bases, or 3 factories I should say, but he's well behind in supply count, way behind economically. Way behind economically, almost 10 SCV difference, which is enormous. SCVs, by the way, moving out to the front to go ahead and provide some repair. Artosis laying some mines, and effectively what this should turn into, presuming this game goes as on a normal pattern, is while these vultures are wandering out trying to get mines laid themselves, it looks like they're able to catch a few vultures in a better attack flight. Oh, is I don't know that Flash is going to be able to, he's okay planting some mines here, but potentially going to walk headlong. Oh man. Okay, got the shot right there, but lost even more vultures, so the supply gap continues to grow. And while he's stymied there, the siege tank count is going to grow. You're going to also have, and it looks like Artosis, by the way, delayed speed for a good period of time. Repair on those 2 siege tanks, which is needed, but Artosis at will effectively can make his way back across the map and likely get siege tank position. Looks like he dropped a Goliath just in case there was a trade to Wraith in the midst of this, which I would be a little bit shocked by. A double machine shop versus just a single machine shop, which with the economic lead is going to give Artosis a superior amount of siege tanks. Flash has managed to press forward and get a really good minefield here at the 3 o'clock. But a well-placed, we'll see if there's a good mine sweep with a comsat before Artosis moves out in the midst of this. Barracks able to at least see the 3 factories and also able to see whether that armory is spinning or not. And so he knows there's double machine shop in the midst of this. It looks like a 4th factory being tacked on for Flash right this second. But Artosis's barracks also just able to get immense amounts of information. I'm not sure if he saw that 4th barracks in production, but he's in a great scenario right now. 55 workers. He's going to go ahead and grab that 3rd because he's got map control on his side of the map. Is holding short while he's lacking detection, so wisely so, because there's a lot of opportunity to lose siege tanks up here on the high ramp. The vultures escorting these siege tanks, trying to clear mines midfield. Actually doing a really good job of it here with that troop movement. Artosis now scooting forward. There's the comsat and going for the counter clear. Well placed. Tanks sieging at a midpoint position. Goliath is hammering that barrack, so it's going to push back Artosis's vision as far as the ability to see reinforcements, but it's 3 siege tanks versus 5 on the opposite side. It looks like Flash also wanting to go for an end around. He needs to be very, very careful with this, because that does potentially open up opportunities for a counterattack from Artosis. But this is going to be a much, much rapid 3rd base, and that's going to be fully saturated for Artosis very quickly. He's filling in the factories in the midst of this. Artosis going for end around himself. And now Flash a little bit split, where his army, he's got vultures along that left-hand side, siege tanks in between. He's got 3 siege tanks across that corner, and so he just isn't. It looks like the Marine actually got picked off in the midst of this. Artosis is losing some control of his own vultures on his side of the map, by the way. But Artosis effectively can just walk around. The reinforcements will be able to stymie anything going across that right-hand corridor, and he can just walk straight up and likely shut down this command center. And because Flash, he doesn't want to push back these 3 siege tanks, he's not going to have a superior siege tank count where it counts, which is along this central line, where Artosis should siege momentarily, and then the vultures can just walk up and clear out that 12 o'clock base, effectively denying the third base to Flash. And Flash just doesn't have enough to break through. Single Goliath trying to hold the line. Looks like one siege tank did have to pull back, but yeah, oh man. With just a second left, and now it's a high ground breach attempt, and Flash losing a massive amount of his siege tanks on that approach. Vulture should be able to get the... Is he going to get another shot? No, does not get the additional shot. So we now have 5 siege tanks left, a 6th behind at pretty decent health. The barracks has been repaired, by the way, so it never fell out of this. Artosis is sitting on 7 factories. Is spinning up a... He's going to finish plus one momentarily. Lost a few troops, but not a lot. Recomp-setting mid-map to go ahead and clear out that minefield, and now you can see where Flash just does not have... Yeah, gonna GG right there. He's got nothing protecting his base from Artosis's encroachments. So Artosis is able to turn advantage into advantage steadily the Terran way and grind Flash down. Flash not able to recover economically, and that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Artosis survives. Thanks for listening.